Greg Ehrenberg back with Adam Scherer. Guys, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do it for Adam because he's back and not feeling that much better, but he's at least able to return to work today. So Adam, still a little sluggish dealing with COVID, but he's toughing it out to bring you guys the injury report, pulling himself off the injury report. We've got some players to talk about here. If you guys have any questions about what we talk about over the course of the show, leave a comment below and I'll be answering those later on in the day. But let's hit on some of these injury situations for tonight, Adam. 5-game slate, but still some players to talk about. Starting with the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler is questionable because he always is now. Caleb Martin is questionable. Tyler Hero is doubtful. What do you see from the Miami Heat situation tonight?
I think Hero being doubtful helps to solidify minutes, or at least potentially solidify minutes for guys like Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry. Not that Lowry was ever in doubt of like not playing a lot, but I think you potentially get a couple more minutes from him, assuming Hero is out. I think that Robinson, it makes it a little bit less likely that you get the random 16-minute Duncan Robinson game if Tyler Hero's out. Makes it a little bit more likely that he does land in that 26 to 28-minute range, which is important on DraftKings in particular at 3,600. So both of those guys I think are just helped like a little bit. Strus being in and I don't think is a huge deal. It does, add somebody to the rotation, but I don't necessarily think that he's going to play like 32 minutes or anything like Hero does.
Yeah, and don't read too much into some of these recent blowout games. I've been getting some crazy messages as of late due to blowout situations. Like, how come, like you thought Isaiah Jackson was going to be good and he only played 22 seconds in an injury situation? Or people will say stuff like, "Oh, how come you thought Kuzma was going to have a good game or Kyle Lowry?" And then a lot of blowouts have been happening recently. Don't look at the last couple of games like this is what the minutes have been. The Heat have been involved in some blowout situations. Don't look at any of the production from last game and look at somebody like Kyle Lowry and say like, oh, Kyle Lowry's unplayable. Kyle Lowry's a very good play, particularly on FanDuel with Tyler Hero not playing. Last game was a blowout. They happen from time to time. Don't concern yourself with it too much. Next situation here. Kobe White and Zach LaVine are both questionable. Neither of them were able to play in the Bulls' last game. Zach LaVine does seem a little bit banged up at this point in the season. What do you see from Chicago if neither LaVine nor White are able to play?
So we have seen the salaries adjust a little bit, but there would still be massive upside for a lot of these guys if they're both out, because not only are you getting more playing time, you're also getting more productivity, more usage. DeRozan and Vucevic in particular, you see a lot more usage. DeRozan's at like 35%, give or take, without LaVine this year. Vooch gets a couple of points in usage as well. Both of their assist percentages go up without Lonzo. But then you also have Ayo Dosunmu, who sees more playing time, or at least more solidified playing time, and a bump in assist percentage. He's got about a 24% assist percentage over the last month. So all of those guys look better in terms of production. Javonte Green, you can expect to play a lot more minutes if those guys are out. Troy Brown only played, I think, 22 minutes yesterday. Matt Thomas played 34, but you could certainly see those numbers flip today as well. So if they're both out, it really just benefits the whole team. It's just a matter of, you're talking about increased productivity for guys like DeRozan, Vooch, and Dosunmu, or increased playing time for guys like Javonte Green, Troy Brown, and potentially Matt Thomas.
Yeah, and Ayo also has been the assist god as far as player props go because he's at the over on his assist prop, something like, I don't even know. It's like 9 of his last 10 games. So somebody who's seen a really big bump in assist numbers in some of these shorthanded Chicago Bulls situations. If you guys haven't done so already, go check out Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. They sponsor the NBA Injury Report every day that we do. And if you sign up at Yahoo using the link in the description box below, get yourself 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You find all the tools that you need to build winning lineups in just about every single DFS sport out there. A couple more injury situations to hit on here. First, the Utah Jazz, where we have Rudy Gay and Jordan Clarkson. They are both questionable. That comes in addition to Rudy Gobert. He's been out for an extended period of time. Donovan Mitchell, he is back in the picture. If you guys aren't aware that he returned to the Jazz recently. What stands out to you from Utah with Gay and Clarkson potentially sitting?
Yes, I mean, with Ingles out already, I think if Clarkson is out, maybe you get a couple more minutes from Conley. You probably get more playing time from guys like Bogdanovich and O'Neal. You also most likely just get Trent Forrest soaking up some minutes in the rotation. So I don't necessarily think that if they're out that you are going to get any one player that goes from like not being a good play to being a really good play. But I do think it makes it so there's a little bit higher ceiling, or at least reasons to be a little bit more optimistic in guys like Conley and Bogdanovich.
All right. And this shouldn't be the biggest news of the slate, but it kind of is because the Oklahoma City Thunder have been a major source of value for us as of late. And that could be the case again today. Lou Dort is questionable. We've got Jeremiah Robinson Earl and SGA, Shai Gilgeous Alexander. These guys are both out for an extended period of time. Then you still got Roby out today. Pokashevsky was randomly sent to the G League, so I assume that's going to open up some playing time. Then also Mike Muscala is out. Who are the best value plays from OKC? Because even though it's a team that hasn't been that appealing for the majority of the season, we keep seeing them on these short slates where it's been really hard to avoid their cheap players.
Yeah, and on DraftKings at least, they have mostly been priced up across the board. You also lost the power forward eligibility on Diakite, but there potentially is a lot of value here. Like you said, if Dort is out, I think it's just going to open up minutes where even though guys have gotten a price hike, you're still going right back to, Trey Mann, Ty Jerome, Kenrich Williams, playing a lot of minutes. You could even potentially see decent run for Teo Maledon, who played 23 minutes last game and could play even more with Pogoshevsky sideline. But if Dort is in, I think you still can take shots at some of these guys, but it makes it a lot riskier because you're adding probably 33 or 34 minutes back to the rotation. You're adding a guy that has a 25% usage rate with Gilgeous Alexander as well. And you have elevated price points on your Trey Mann, Ty Jerome, Kenrich Williams type guys. So I do think that if Dort is in, those players become a little bit riskier. But if he's out, Pogoshevsky played 26 and a half minutes last game. Kenrich Williams only played 17. I think you would expect him to play more. You got 27 minutes just about from Jerome. Not necessarily, he doesn't necessarily need to play more. Man doesn't necessarily need to play more, but I think that Kenrich Williams in particular would benefit a lot. Teo Maledon would be worth some dart throws at 3K flat as well.
Well, that is going to do it for us. Keep an eye on all the injury news for later. Still, a lot of these guys are questionable. Not too many players officially ruled out. So check out the deeper dive live before lock. And of course, like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment if you have any questions.